Gonna answer some more questions today. As always, anything that's on your mind, leave it in the comment section. Your comments and questions are what give me the fuel to carry on. Let's get to it. What guitar are you using in this video? It is beautiful. Well, thank you very much. This is actually a Fender American Standard Telecaster. A lot of people have been leaving comments on this because it was just in the Overcast video I just posted. And basically, so stock, this was a jade metallic Telecaster. Not really my favorite color, but I bought it used, so it's a pretty good guitar, and I wanted to do something with it. So this is called a chalk paint finish. And it's super easy to do. There's no sanding involved. A lot of time when you want to like refinish a guitar, you have to like sand it and finish it with something else. But this is really super simple. It's just chalk paint, wax to kind of cover it, and that's it. I'm actually probably going to do a video on just taking you through the steps, and I might do another one just to kind of see, so you can see how it's made. But the only drawback to the way that I've done it is I don't know if this would be a good gigging guitar because, like as you can see in this corner right here, it does kind of rub off if it gets wet, right? So, you know, if I'm playing, I usually rest my arm here, and all the moisture and stuff kind of will erode the finish. You might have to refinish it with wax and stuff like that. But as a studio guitar, I think it's fantastic. It looks really great, and it's super easy to do. So, chalk paint. How can you go about looking for musical jobs around my area? Well, that's kind of the million-dollar question, isn't it? The music industry is kind of always evolving, and depending on the area you're in, there are going to be other different opportunities you might want to look into. You could go to the Craigslist gigs site, but they're usually looking for unlicensed contractors or hookers. So really my best advice is just kind of get out there in the community. I remember when I first started kind of doing music stuff full time, I was just down for absolutely anything. Like, I would try to teach myself as much about guitar, as much about recording stuff as I could, because what I've kind of learned is that the bulk of opportunities that you will come across musically are more from your personality and who you know as compared to how good you actually are at an instrument. So really take any single job you can, meet as many people as you can. Going to like open mic nights are a really good way to just kind of network, and you never really know what opportunities are going to come. It's just like totally random, seemingly. I ran live sound for like a year on and off. I absolutely hated the job, but I met a lot of cool people from that. And, you know, just over time, you'll develop kind of like a network of people, and they're always going to be offering you different jobs. So really just don't be picky about what you do. Just do anything for the experience. You're going to meet a lot of people. You're going to get a lot of different skills. And even if it's not what you see yourself doing long term, all that experience adds up. And again, really, opportunities always come from the people and not from the skills. I like how you explain things clearly. Where and how did you learn so much about theory? So if you've been watching a lot of the recent videos, a lot of them are geared towards understanding music theory, chord building, scales, arpeggios, stuff like that. And if I could have gone back in time and shown myself all this stuff like 5 years ago, I would have been shocked because I knew absolutely nothing about music theory. In fact, my own story is I didn't really start playing guitar until I was like 17. And I just learned by looking up tabs on the internet. I never had any lessons. I never went to school for any of this stuff. And as a result, I had a lot of holes in my playing. And it's almost like the better I got skill-wise, the more embarrassed I was to like ask questions, right? Which is stupid, but I think a lot of people kind of suffer from that. So what happened to me is I was good enough to the point that a few different people kind of asked if I could teach them what I knew. I think I just kind of have like a personality that lends itself towards teaching a lot. And once I started getting more and more people who wanted to take lessons from me, I was like, all right, I really need to like learn how to do all this stuff. So I bought a couple books, and that didn't really resonate with me. I didn't have a lot of friends that were also musicians who had a complete understanding of it. So really, I mean, just going online and just like reading as much as you can and thoughtfully thinking about songs that you play. Like you probably already, even if you're not a master of music theory, I'm sure you already know a lot of the songs that you like chord-wise, they share the same chords or they share the same group of chords. And really just take a little bit of time to thoughtfully see what's going on there. Like if there's always a B minor in this progression, why does that always followed up with like a G and stuff like that? All those things over time will start to cement, and then you'll have like a better working understanding, but you have to really be thoughtful about it. I can't stress that enough. Like for the first 5-6 years of my playing, I would never even consider why a song was going in a certain direction. I would only just kind of like memorize the chord progression or a group of notes or the area that it was in, but I wouldn't really challenge myself to make the connections between them. So again, music theory can be kind of hard to understand at first, but 100% hands down, it is the best way to kind of get over a plateau, which a lot of people, they'll kind of get fast enough for something to do something, but then they won't have maybe the mental game to push themselves up to the next plateau of playing, composition, anything like that. Once you understand the basics and the building blocks of how any music is, whether it's classical music, metal, hard rock, country, polka, whatever, once you understand how it moves and the differences between them, you'll be able to be a more versatile player and a more complete player, and you won't be kind of, embarrassed to ask as many questions, because really asking questions is the best way to learn anything. So listening homework this week, I want you to go back and listen to an album called King Animal by Soundgarden. Now this album's actually like 4 years old at this point now, but I totally think this is an incredibly underrated rock masterpiece. In fact, possibly like the last great rock album that I've heard. And at the time it came out, there wasn't a lot of publicity around it. I mean, they had one single which did okay and stuff like that. They didn't do like a lot of music videos or anything like that. But definitely, from beginning to end, just nasty, nasty guitar playing by the guys. One of the best sounding, production-wise, rock albums I think there's ever really been. And again, nobody really talked about it then. Nobody talks about it now. You never hear these songs. Listen to Soundgarden, King Animal. I think it's their second best album after Super Unknown, which again is like one of the great rock albums of all time anyways. So check that out. And as always, any questions and comments, hit me up. Thanks.